Hey guys, it's Eric here with Sacred Forge Healing here for your weekly reading. Sorry I did not get that message out last week, but we are back here again. So we're going to get into some cards today to see kind of what we have going on for this week of April 13th through the 20th, 2025. There's a bit of a pull to do some light language. So if you guys have never heard of light language before, I call it the language of the soul. The mind doesn't necessarily understand it. Some of you will. But the body and the soul does. So as you're listening to it, as we're going about this, I'll be getting some information through it, and you guys will be getting some energy downloads as well. So, okay, I do want to start with the light language. Do reakate shekato darekata shatu kundara eakata shololo brekata ikya. Tunda shakyakoto eakata shololo brekata kashyana. So there's a feeling of paying attention to what team you're pulling for. Now, this feels much wider world than, say, sports, which is kind of what they're showing me a little bit with football. So we really have to be paying attention to where we're putting our energy this week in that regard. Whether it be, we are pulling for the team of light per se, trying to really make sure that we're holding our light steady so that more of it can come through for people. So you can see this as like holding your joy, holding your peace, spending time out in nature. These are all things that help light us up from the inside. Or again, doing things that do light you up from the inside, be that hobbies or spending time with people you love. We need to be focused on that and not be too overly focused on what the team of dark may be doing. So right now we do have this large time of change and transition. The world is looking different than we've ever seen it before, but it is changing. And so we need to be aware of which team we really want to play for, whether we're on the team of consciousness or unconsciousness. Whether we want to be awake and aware of situations, or awake and aware of our light that comes from within us and our abilities that therefore lie within, or if we want to go back to sleep and not be as aware of everything that we could be. Now, I will tell you, the energy does not lend itself to those being asleep. We are all being dragged awake whether we want it or not, so hang on for the ride. So we really have to be aware of where we want to put that energy for ourselves and our focus, right? Yes, we have to continue focusing on the wider world in some capacity to, be aware of what's happening. But do we focus on, per se, like connecting or meditating into our, connecting with our spiritual selves, or do we focus on all the physical things? Now, for some of you, there is a lot of fear around having your needs met. So yes, that is a valid fear. Connecting out to the divine, to the angels, however you connect with spirit and asking for that help and that assistance will allow more of that to come in for you, right? That point of connection is big, but it also depends on what lessons you decided to come into with this lifetime, whether that is to go through this hardship just to awaken more of yourself or to understand more of what's going on. Now, for the next while, there's going to be a lot of shifts and changes within that itself, where we're no longer we still have to go through some human aspects for sure, but a lot is changing to where we can focus a bit more on our joy, on our love, on our light that comes within, and that is something that is changing on the wider world. It does not look like it. There are many things that are not yet seen at this time, but it is opening the way. Think of cutting off an infection of sorts. This is kind of what's happening in the wider world, where everything just gets a little bit louder as they're going. But there's a lot more that's coming through at this time than just that. So keep your eyes peeled in the wider world to, where are the spots of light, of hope, of joy that still exist around us, so that way we may tap into those and then shine it out from ourselves, right? So again, making sure you're staying very connected with yourself, with your joys and your life, making sure you're living it and not just sitting in that fear. Yes, this can be a scary time, but that is not what it's meant to be. It is meant to clear a lot of stuff away, right? So as you're going about this week, really contemplate where you do want to put those energies, where you want to, or what team per se you would like to be upon, and really have that focus. I want to sit here and I want to connect with myself. I want to connect with my light. I want to connect with my joy. I want to do that. That's what I want to focus on. Think about what you would like to focus on as you go forward in this week. And as you're going through this, making sure you don't get too cerebral. A lot of us can get into the thinking mode, and it can be very hard to disconnect that. So they're wanting to remind you to sit in your feeling body a bit more, right? This is not to say neglect logic in total, right? We are here on a physical planet. We need to have logic behind us as well, but not to let that logic sit in fear as best as you can. Now, all I say right now can be, for some of you and most of us, right, can be harder said than done. They are wanting to remind you that you can always connect with them and get that support and that love. Remember that the angels are always there. They are just waiting for you to step out and ask for their help, right? So today, say thank you, angels, for showing me the best day possible for me. Thank you for stepping more into my life and stepping more into this service that I'm here for. Thank you for helping me to be of service and to be more connected with you and with myself. Life is a mirror, so thank you for showing me what I need to see to move forward. Thank you for reminding me to connect inward as I go through my life and as I go through this day. Again, thank you for showing me how amazing today can be. So I hope this message has been helpful for you guys today. But there's a lot that is shifting. So don't be scared. Just embrace it as best you can. But I hope you guys have an amazing week, and we'll be back again next week. Bye for now.